Hello, this is James hijacking his brother's YouTube account to ask a question, pondering which is a debate. Leave your answers in the comment section when you respond to the video. Either or will be okay with me. One of the questions is, what weapons would be preferred in space? So far, I've come up with 3 categories in which you can answer in. One would be close-range combat inside the space shuttle, or space station, or whatever satellite, doesn't really matter. And then the other one would be outside of it, and then another is like long range, more than 2 to 3 kilometers away from wherever you're stationed if you are in space. What weapons would be preferred? I mean, for a long distance, let's start. You can use a high-powered railgun, which is a magnetized proportion of sorts, which uses magnetation and electricity to move propelled iron, things like that. Things that can move easily with a magnetized pull through either a coil system or something like that. Semi-close range, which would be slightly outside, because I don't believe that you should use weapons that shoot anything propelled through aluminum or any light grade, probably weak rate of fire, or anything that could puncture through metal inside the space station, because what would happen would be the fact that you're inside there, you don't have your spacesuit on, and if you puncture a hole, I figure a vacuum leak would occur within the space shuttle and end up tearing it to pieces due to the pressure and the escape of everything like that, and people's heads would explode, and if you're in your spacesuit you'd be fine, but at the same time you would have to worry about something drastic happening. I just figured inside the space shuttle, if you wanted to kill somebody, or if you had to kill somebody, it would be used by a knife. I mean, you could propel yourself forward in a place where there's no gravity and just happen to be able to fly forward and just, slice them up a little bit, and just be able to make sure that you and your crew is safe. One of the arguments with me and a few of my friends have been that using a railgun or a laser, how can you feel what's safe? Not every laser guided thing or everything that's guided to hit a certain object actually makes contact. You miss on multiple occasions. You can do as many calculations as you want, but if that item or that heat doesn't reach the right place, what does it have the effect on when you miss? I prefer, my preference towards this argument is a railgun. Like, if you're more than a few kilometers away or even light year away, I still think with the right calculations and everything, and you have a clear path. I mean, if you shoot past the asteroid belt, you're asking for trouble. But what is considered okay and what isn't considered okay to fire in space? The conventional gun, yes, it does have gases released and things like that. There's a massive explosion, but how do you know that you're not in a situation in which that if fire or heat is occurred, how do you know that one, you don't blow yourself up, or two, that even though it's moving at such a slow pace, but in space it's a vacuum, so anything with motion, so let's say motion or inertia is exerted from the gun barrel or even a railgun or a laser beam, something that seems to push something, anything, force, and you miss. It's a tragedy. You miss and you push an asteroid. How do you know that asteroid isn't going to come back later to do a circle, be pulled by some sort of planet orbitation, and deliver right back around towards you hundreds of years later, in which that you cannot fight that back? I have a lot of questions about this. Another one is artificial gravity. How can you assume that you can make artificial gravity in outer space? If you look at the Earth, it's a big old ball. and we're drawn to this ball. We can't leave it ourselves. We need something to propel us into space, you know, something to move us past our atmosphere. So, and it takes quite a bit to move us past our atmosphere. It's either we can glide around the Earth a few times and eventually make it out to the outer layers and eventually just break off, or we just straight fucking blow it straight out. Yeah, one or two things could happen. So let's say if you're on a space shuttle, how do you know if one of my theories is to create artificial gravity, and I don't even know if it's true. I haven't been to space yet. I'm only so old, and I don't have connections like that. One thing I look at is if you take a laundry basket full of clothes and you flip it around really fast just to have enough G-forces to hold all the laundry in the back of the basket, and it ends up flipping, but it seems to be held towards the back of the basket, and it goes around in 360 degrees, and you don't really have to worry about your laundry going all over the room. On a majority of, this is a simple experiment which you can do with your spare time or leisure time, whatever what you want to see if it actually happens. But how do you know what to do? And a lot of people say, well, there's equations and stuff like that, but I'm not educated at all. I haven't thrown a single equation at you in this entire video, but I would like to hear your response. Thank you, and have a great day. This is James Springer hijacking John Springer.